What do you do when you run out of inspiration? Let's talk about this because inspiration is wonderful. It's a great feeling. You come up with all these ideas and you're so excited and you're creative and you want to be fulfilled and you start to think about all of the things that you can be doing for your career. It feels great. The downside of inspiration is that it doesn't last forever. It will come back. It comes in waves, of course, but inspiration is not the thing that's going to see you through to the accomplishment of your goals, especially if you've been in any kind of slump and then you get struck by the bug of inspiration. Sometimes you find yourself over committing to all of these things. Sometimes you feel like, well, I'm behind, so I need to play catch up, so I'm going to commit to these 20 things. I'm going to write my project and go on 20 auditions a week and try to get an agent, and I'm going to do a Kickstarter. You start getting all of these ideas of things that you want to do. The problem is, time management is probably the biggest issue for everyone on the planet, especially actors, because your life is unscheduled, it's erratic. You might have a side job plus pursuing acting, and unexpected things come up in your schedule all of the time. So time management is a really key factor, and if it's not something that you're really disciplined in, what can happen when you do get inspired is that then you set yourself up for failure, maybe some subconsciously, but you overcommit to all this stuff that you're going to get done because you feel so inspired. And then as you start taking action, you realize you're not getting stuff done. You're not getting as many things done as you committed to. You got busy and this thing fell off the to-do list, and suddenly you find yourself feeling like a failure because you committed to 20 things that you couldn't realistically achieve anyway, and because you've only done 8 of them, you feel like you didn't accomplish anything. Then you start to go into that downward spiral of beating yourself up and feeling shame and feeling like a failure, and then you go back to the point that you were at before the inspiration, which is stuck in procrastination and feeling like there's nothing happening. So that's the downside. So let's talk about what you can do instead. If you do become inspired or you have several projects on the to-do list already, the first thing that I would suggest that you do is really get realistic about the level of commitment. In fact, I would suggest that you do under-committing. So in sales and marketing, there's a term that's floating around. It's called under-commit and over-deliver. So the idea is you commit to something that you definitely know 100% you can accomplish. If it's one thing for the week, do it. Commit to that one thing that you know you can get done, because that's going to start building the habit of you sticking to your commitments and staying accountable. But it also is going to lend itself to more success, because if you accomplish that one thing that you set out to do, that's going to feel good. And that good feeling is then going to inspire you to do more, right? You undercommit. Once you've reached your commitment, you're usually inspired to go a little bit further. Once you get into that habit, if you do one thing, you might be inspired to do 2. The next week, if you commit to 2 things, you might be inspired to do 3. And as you move forward, you find that you're doing and accomplishing more and more and more, but it's because you've built that muscle of reaching your commitments, and then that inspires you to then go above and beyond. So instead of setting yourself up for a failure by taking that inspiration and trying to do everything all at once, you want to say, okay, I'm heading in this direction, but I'm just going to do this one thing today because I know without a doubt I can get it done. And then instead of spending 8 hours procrastinating and beating yourself up, you spent half an hour doing something really productive.